Welcome to Texas Card House as we get ready for tonight's Wednesday stream from the Rio Grande Valley. Minimum buy-in for this game is $300, and we will go around the table to see what the lineup is for tonight. In seat number 1, we got the real Levis. Looks like he's in for 500. In seat number 2, we have CC Drew in for 300. We got the Girl Dad also in for 300. We have El Jefe in for 500. We have Matt C in for 500. Eli, who is going to be about 10 minutes late, he's in for 500. Tres Mentiras in for 300. New York Bob, who was playing the cash game on the main floor early on, he's in for 366. And then we have Newbie in for 300. First hand of the night as we have Girl Dad under the gun, limping with the dead man's hand. Oh, no, excuse me, he did fold. El Hef comes in for the limp with the suited 9 as the cameras get adjusted here. Oh, Newbie with the queens, only raising it to 15 here on the first hand. A little surprising on the small size. You can see he does pick up not one, not two, but 3 callers. He will have position, though, as he does have the button, and he does have the best hand right now. Good flop for the queens, as it is Jack, Jack 3. Nobody with a Jack, nobody with a 3. Newbie putting out the continuation bet. Probably be at least 30, maybe 40. And he's going to bet 45. More than half the pot. And that's going to get the job done. So we are back, as we did not stream last Wednesday night. A lot of the players out at the World Series of Poker, myself included, as I was in Las Vegas last week. Played one event. It was the $800 event on a Monday. Almost made it to the dinner break, but really didn't come close to cash in, as we have El Hef with the pocket 7s. He's going to be limping under the gun. And New York Bob with the suited king will take it up to 15. El Hef making sure that he has the 7s. And Tres Mentiras in pretty bad shape here, as his clubs are no good and his 7s no good, can only hit the Jack. CC Drew coming along in the small blind as well with his suited 10. And we will have another 4-way flop, $63 in the middle once again. And it's going to be another paired board. Deuce, deuce, 4, as it'll go check around. Pocket 7s still in the lead, but no more as Tres Mentiras hits his J. And now El Jefe will bet, small bet here with the 7s. $15 bet. Quick call from Tres Mentiras. Bob will get out of the way, as does CC Drew. And we will go heads up to the river. And pretty scary river as both the straight and flush draw arrive. El Jefe will check it. And it looks like Tres Mentiras gonna go for some value here. I actually think he's turning his hand into a bluff here based upon this bet sizing of 55. But he does have the best hand. And looks like El Jefe is going to look him up here and see the Jack. So it's El Jefe's first time playing on the stream. He's actually from the Austin area. And he does make the call, pretty much just paying for information there. Has never really played with any of these players before. And sometimes you do pay for information, and he did just that. And we have Matt C. putting on the Under the Gun Strato for $11. We are live on the YouTube chat, and that's right, Logan. We are back tonight. As I said, we did not stream last Wednesday night due to the number of players and staff that were in Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker.
All right, so we have $11 $11 live trial.
So $11 to go. That is the Strato, as Matt having dinner at the table. And looks like Matt's going to get the win. So something I do like to mention, if you have tuned into the streams before, it might sound repetitive, but I normally say this at the beginning of the stream, that players tend to play a little bit tighter or a little bit looser than they normally play. Around the first 10 hands or so, they're either trying to establish a table image or just trying to figure out how the table is going to play for the stream.
All right, we're three to play, $3.
Tres Mentiras joining us tonight from Brownsville. CC Drew put it on a move here. Put it on the 3-bet. Be curious to see if he does show. Newbie raised it in the low jack to 12. And Newbie's going to call here with the 5 high. Really doesn't surprise me, as Newbie does have a very unconventional style of play.
All right, we have 3 players to the flop.
As we will go 3 ways to a flop of over $100. And the real Livas started with the best hand, still has the best hand, as he does pair up his 9. And it does go check around, as CC Drew now picks up an open ender. Newbie with the 5 high will check. A second overcard to the 9s. A little surprised CC Drew didn't pull the trigger there on the turn, but he does seem to be enjoying his massage. So Newbie's pretty much given up on this hand. And the real Livas, the action is on him. And he's finally going to bet his pair of 9s to 70. And that'll get the job done. So seat 1 going by the real Livas, as you may have seen his brother play on the stream before, his younger brother, Alex Livas, who goes by the name of RGV Striker. And there's Eli just in time for his big blind.
Just in time.
So Eli getting his buy-in and membership taken care of. His chips are already on the table, though. So we are now 9-handed.
After this hand. Huh? Well, yeah.
A limp with the ace-4 from New York Bob. Matt gonna complete his small blind and take a bite of his burger. And Eli will check his option as we'll go 4 ways to a flop of nothing but small cards. So 2 overcards and a gut shot for Matt C. Open ender for New York Bob. And top pair for CC Drew. So a 6-high flop and 3 of the players have a piece of it. The only player without a piece of it is Eli, and he will get out of the way. And we will stay 3 ways to the flop as Eli will go to the front desk to take care of his membership. Queen on the turn. The 6 still good for CC Drew. And let's see if he bets it. He does not. To the river we go. And CC Drew is going to wind up with the best hand. And see if anybody tries to bluff here. Nobody's interested in bluffing early on here. As CC Drew will just take his showdown value with the 6. So El Jefe, whose real name is Jeff, but if you look real quick, it's almost spelled the same. So that's why he's going by El Jefe. J-E-F-E. That's Jefe. J-E-F-F is Jeff. So Jeff with a fan in the chat. And as I said, we are live on the YouTube chat. I think we're only streaming on YouTube tonight as we do have a new production crew, and it looks like we're not streaming on Twitch right now as we have in the past. So $10 under the gun straddle from New York Bob. He will check his option with the 7 high, and we will go 5 ways to a flop. Jack, Jack 6. Trips for CC Drew. And I'm thinking he's going to bet here. Wow, he does not. He's really enjoying that massage. Trey coming on the turn. That's going to give a straight draw for Matt C. And he is the only player that is not drawn dead. As now CC Drew putting out a bet. It says 15. It looked like more than 15, but it is 15 indeed. And Matt going to need to hit a 4 for a straight. New York Bob coming along with his Trey. He is drawn dead. And New York Bob hit in 3 pair, but 3 pair does not beat 3 of a kind. Matt C also hit in the 7. Might call a small bet. Will not call a $100 bet. The flush draw did arrive as well, so if CC Drew was on the flush draw, he got there. It's going to be hard for New York Bob to call. It looks like he was thinking about making a hero call, but with the flush getting there, I think it's going to be too hard for him to make the hero call. But let's see what he does. Yeah, he's going to get away. Maybe if it was a 7 of hearts where the flush missed, he could perhaps call with just the Trey. But he will get out of the way, and CC Drew will win back-to-back pots while enjoying the tableside massage here at the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. Tableside massage is available for all players. $1 a minute. $1 a minute. No straddle this hand, just be $3 to come in. $15 raise. Seems like the standard has been $15. And I think the players are going to have to size it up. As you can see, we're having another multi-way pot here. And that's a pretty good flop for New York Bob, as he flops 3 of a kind. The trips. CC Drew with a flush draw. Everybody else drawn dead. Second straight hand we see where only 2 players are still drawn live. The 0% means there is no possible way the players can win the hand. El Jefe is going to make the call, drawn dead. As if another 10 arrives, then New York Bob will have a better full house. CC Drew looking for a flush, does not get there. Instead, New York Bob fills up. Queens full of 3s. And he's not going to get tricky. He's just going to bet it. Hoping somebody has a 3 here and is not able to fold it. A lot of draws missed as well. Clubs missed. Straights missed. Oh. And El Jefe making the call with just the 10. Did not believe New York Bob. So the second time tonight, within the first 10 hands, that El Jefe pays for information. And both times, he did not like the information he got. Oh, looks like we got Matty G going to be making his stream debut next Wednesday, so a week away. I know Matt's from the Rio Grande Valley, but lives up in St. Anthony now. Or as they say in Spanish, San Antonio. Antonio. Ace Jack for El Jefe. And he's going to make it 15. I mentioned this earlier. This opening size of 15. I think these players are going to have to size up. Because normally you want to pick up 1, maybe 2 callers if you're raising. But you can see El Jefe picking up 3 callers. He does flop the ace, as Tres Mentiras has the 9. And Eli has the 5. $60 in the pot. And he's going to check his top pair. Does have the Jack of Hearts. So perhaps not too worried about the flush. Oh, and Eli's going to bet his bottom pair here. Quick fold from Tres Mentiras. A little surprising considering that he did have second pair. El Jefe makes the call with the best hand, looking to avoid a 5 or a 6. And it's going to be a 10. El Jefe checking once again. Eli took the bait the first time. Will he take the bait again? With just bottom pair here, Eli's assembling a second bet. And with the pot size the way it is, I'm thinking El Jefe should be putting in a check raise here and just getting all the chips in the middle right now, as the pot is now over $200 and El Jefe has $243. So basically a pot size shove. This is the time to go all in. He did check twice, hitting the ace. Checked on the flop, checks on the turn. Now it's time for him to go all in. Let's see if he can figure it out here. And yes, indeed, he does figure it out. Says all in. And Eli's thinking to himself, why did I bet second pair twice? Bottom pair twice. I don't think he's going to be able to call. but we will find out for sure as he is thinking about it. So nice check raise here on the turn from El Jefe. As you can see, he is 87% to win, even if he does get a call, but Eli does let it go. And El Jefe, who was in for $500, is going to get almost unstuck with that hand.
Our bar sellers are really missing it.
I have been told by numerous people that I have the perfect face for radio.
Georgie's like, we need a break. Alright, we have a $10 live.
Make sure you do hit that like button. It's how I get paid. CC Drew with the under the gun straddle, looks like 10. And Matt making the call. Eli jumping back in after his failed bluff with the queen six. Everybody with the six. And CC Drew with the best hand, gonna raise it up. Gets a quick call from Matt. And this might bring everybody else in. Yeah, it's going to bring everybody else in. I don't know about Newbie. I never know about Newbie. I don't think he knows what he's going to do. He does make the call. So 4 ways we go to a over $200 pot. 3 players sharing a 6, 2 players sharing an ace. And it is Eli flopping top pair. Eli with $302 in his stack. He checks top pair here. Little surprised, as now Newbie is going to hit trips. And Newbie with basically a pot-sized bet left. But he's going to bet small here, less than half the pot. 75 into 203. Eli's thinking to himself, why didn't I bet the flop here? Very, very bad turn for Eli, as the flush arrived and 3 of a kind arrived, and you can see his opponent does have the 3 of a kind. Eli going to be making the call, looking for a red queen. Looking for the ginger queen. His spot's over $353. Instead, it's going to be a 10. So Newbie has 163 in his stack. And looks like he's going to go all in. Eli double checking his cards. Flush beats him and trips beats him. Unfortunately, one of his opponent does have one of those hands. Confirmation on the call looks like 158. The dealer for our first hour is going to be Jeremiah. Jeremiah representing Starr County tonight. La Estrella. Starr with 2 R's. I think Eli feels that he's pot committed here, and he does make the call. And Newbie's going to show him the tray. So Newbie with the double up, and I think that's going to take him up the leaderboard to the top. At the end of each hand, you can see the chip totals flash up on the bottom. You want to be to the far left. You don't want to be to the far right. And I think once these totals pop up, these players are going to be on opposite sides, as Newbie will be to the far left, and Eli will be to the far right, as Eli is down over $400. big pot being pushed over to newbie. And there are the chip totals. You can see that newbie is up. And Eli down $431. So the number in green, that is how much the players are profiting. So the first player in profit is the Rio Livas. He bought him for $500 and he's winning $61. He has $561 in front of him. So Eli, last player to sit down, first player to rebuy as we get ready for hand number 10, as we have a $10 under the gun straddle coming from the girl dad. Small raise here from Matt C up to 30, considering there is a $10 straddle. Queen 6 making another appearance. Did not work out for Eli last time. We'll see if the girl dad has luck with it. And El Jefe with 3 deuce of diamonds making the call as we are going 4 ways to the flop. Texas heads up as the joke goes. And it's going to be an ace-high flop. Nobody with an ace. But Matt C, who was your initial raiser, good spot for him to put out a continuation bet here to represent the ace. He does have an open ender with the 5-3, but instead the girl dad's going to bet out his middle pair here. Quick call from Matt C. El Jefe making the call as well, needing a 5 for his straight. Queen 6 somehow still out in front. Girl dad going to slow down now that he picked up 2 callers. And looks like it's going to go check around. And it's going to be 3 6s for the girl dad. I can confirm he does have 2 daughters. And I don't think his youngest daughter likes me. Looks like a $75 bet from the girl dad. And that should get the job done. What? Matt C making a move here. Matt C missing his straight draw, has 5 high. Making a move here. I don't think it's going to work. And it does not work. So Matt C rips it with 5 high on the river. And in Matt C's defense, the move would have worked if his opponent didn't hit the 3rd 6. What a play for Matt C. Yeah, so give credit for Matt C for the move, but he happened to run into it.
Yeah, I learned from you.
And somebody once said, if you never get caught bluffing, then you're not bluffing enough. As I said, in Matt's defense, if his opponent does not hit the 6 on the river, his opponent does not call. All right, we do have some action on the chat. Cajun Nation, who is here playing on one of the outer tables. Eli with the suited queen, going to be raising it up, or is there an under the gun straddle? think there might be a straddle.
We have 4 players to the flop.
Eli, your pre-flop raiser hits the queen but does check.
I'm even out of town. My daughter got tournament volleyball.
El Jefe picking up a flush draw. And Tres Mentiras hitting third pair. Oh, wow. Eli folding to a $15 bet here.
It was like,
And El Jefe is going to have to put out a pretty big bet on the river here. Oh, this isn't going to work. It's a 10 of diamonds on the river, not a 3. It's a 10 of diamonds on the river. You can see the reader pick something up wrong. And El Jefe is not going to bluff at it, so he's going to save money, as his opponent did hit trips.
the guy wanted 12, and I offered him 8. And we just ended up picking up for 9. Like, by the end of the show, like, hey,
Quick fold from El Jefe, as we have RG3 in the stream. That's Ricardo Gaetan, or as they say up north, Gaetan, but it's pronounced Gaetan. Looks like we have a fan of the girl dad in the stream. Uh-oh, and it looks like Fletcher is tuning in, but he will be on the stream next Wednesday. So next Wednesday's stream already shaping up to be pretty good. Keep in mind, we do have a stream in between. We do have a stream on Friday. We do stream on the main channel on Friday. This is the secondary channel. Big raise here from Tres Mentiras and New York Bob ordering some Jersey Mikes, missing out on his ace-king suited. So could have seen a big hand. And we still might see one as CC Drew makes the call. And now Matt's moving all in.
he's back. Like Jordan, we should make this shirt. He's back. And put the 45 and put Liva's face on it.
I don't know if this reopens the action, but either way, Tres Mentiras just sliding out the call. I don't know if there was a straddle under the gun or not. If there was a straddle, it does reopen the action. If there was not a straddle, it does not reopen the action, as it does have to be twice the bet. So $97 would have reopened the action. But everybody just makes the call, and we are going 3 ways to a flop. Matt C is all in, and he's going to get out flopped as CC Drew made a call with Queen 7 of hearts pre-flop, gets rewarded hitting top pair. It shows he has 109. I think he has more chips than that. The dealer's going to confirm. $104. So CC Drew in for wild $104. And Tres Mentiras making a really loose call here with just ace high. Sometimes you don't want to fold your hand, and he calls here with ace high. Matzi does not like this. You never want to be all in and your player and the other players are betting on the side pot. Oh, Tres Mentiras hits the ace, and he will take it down. So CC Drew making what some may say is a bit of a loose call pre-flop with the queen 7. Gets rewarded with the queen on the flop. And then Tres Mentiras, who some people might say is a bit of a loose call, calling it all in with ace high on the flop. He also gets rewarded.
Thank you.
So Matt C will be rebuying, and Corpus Christi Drew also will be rebuying. The card reader did not pick up the river, and that's why it took a little while to ship the pot. But I can say, I believe it was Monday night. Yeah, I was watching some of the coverage from the World Series of Poker on Poker Go, and they actually had the same hiccup that sometimes happens here, where the card reader picks something up wrong. And, of course, the production crew does correct it. There was a pot that showed, I believe, that a queen was on the flop when a queen was not on the flop. I was watching the 250K high roller. Right on the money bubble. 10 players got paid. $6 button straddle coming from the girl dad. Action will start in the small blind, so El Jefe will be first to act. And Tres Mentiras winning that pot. You can see he is now the biggest winner, overtaking Newbie. I just remembered that New York Bob was not at his seat, so he folded ace-king. So that was one of the 2 remaining aces that Tres Mentiras was able to hit on the turn. Tres Mentiras winning the last hand, putting those chips to work, raising it up to 25. CC Drew has now put a target on Tres Mentiras' back as he immediately 3-bets him. So the players don't know this, but we can see that I think CC Drew is going to try to target Tres Mentiras as he put on a 3-bet with 6 deuce offsuit, as he was not very happy that Tres Mentiras just called him with ace high and then hit an ace on the previous hand to win a huge pot. So perhaps a table dynamic to watch as the stream continues. We do stream for 4 hours every Wednesday night and every Friday night. So we still have over 3 hours to go as New York Bob has the suited Queen Jack, raising it up to 20. And Matt C making the call with the 10 high. The real Livas also makes the call. And CC Drew, he's in with 8-4 offsuit. CC Drew wants to win his money back immediately. You got to be in it to win it. Tres Mentiras hitting top pair. Bob also hitting top pair. And the Rio Livas hitting middle pair, as does Matt C. Tres Mentiras leading out here, has no heart in his hand. So he does lead out for 55. Quick call from New York Bob. And the real Livas also making the call. Can only hit a 10. And there's only 2 10s left. So the real Livas in pretty bad shape. Does not want to see a king Oh, wow. Matt C would have hit 2 pair if he would have stayed in. Looks like he had a phone call to make. New York Bob now turning a straight draw to go along with his top pair. Will put out a $115 wager. So New York Bob open-ended. Oh, wow. New York Bob's going to get the best hand to fold as the real Livas makes the call. Needing a jack, cannot hit a king, as that'll give New York Bob a straight. $500 in the pot, $2 shy of $500. And both these players have about $300 in their stack. And New York Bob going to be putting out a small bet here of $100. Action is on seat 1. Still haven't corrected that corner camera, but you can see him slide in the call, and the 10 will be no good. Tres Mentiras is going to see that he folded the winner. And New York Bob will take down the $698 pot. And that'll take New York Bob up to the top of the leaderboard. I believe he was in for 366, as he was the only one of these players who has been here early. So he was out playing on the main floor area. That's why he had a weird amount, as I'm sure he bought in to that game for a normal amount, as a round amount, like $200 or $300, but he did bring $366 with him to the stream table. I said this earlier, I don't think the $15 bet is going to be a good sizing, as too many players are calling to 15. And everybody misses. The ace-10 of newbie still out in front. And it looks like he's going to put out a bet here. Newbie's very careful when he cuts out his bet sizing, because he is colorblind. And it's going to get the job done. So seat 1 going by the real Livas, his younger brother, Alex Livas, with a little jab, saying he's playing real bad right now. He should watch his brother play more. Let's see if we have a straddle. We do not have a straddle, so action will be on newbie, making sure the cards get scanned properly. And he's going to look down at the San Francisco bus boy, and he will get rid of it. That's right. It's a queen with a tray. So action on the real Livas, who does make the fold. El Jefe limping with the queen 6 offsuit. A little ambitious there. But he did see somebody win a big pot earlier with the queen 6 offsuit. Everybody misses once again. Although there's only $12 in the pot, there was no raise. As Tres Mentiras turns a open-ended straight draw, CC Drew with a gut shot. El Jefe also with a gut shot. And New York Bob with the best hand with the fours. Everybody makes the call. $52 in the middle. And it's going to be an ace. So Tres Mentiras going to hit his straight. And he's going to just lead out and bet it, hoping somebody has two pair, hoping that the ace made somebody two pair. But that is not the case. So Tres Mentiras will take it down. New York Bob still out in front. And Matt C. joining Eli. Down, they're both down over $400. $10 under the gun straddle coming from the Rio Livas. So the price of poker going up to 10. Action is on CC Drew. The Queen 6 making another appearance. And CC Drew raising with the Queen 6. It is suited. Folded around to Tres Mentiras. Tres Mentiras calling with the best hand. Has the Ace 8 of hearts. Newbie coming along with the Jack 10 suited. And the Rio Livas flicks in the $15 to complete. And we have 101 Dalmatians in the pot. As it does come king high. The Rio Livas with the best hand right now has the 7. But Newbie now taking the lead with the Jack. Everybody still checking. As we will go 4 ways to a river. And the Rio Livas hidden 2 pair. Newbie gonna lead out here for 40. Does the Rio Livas raise or does he just call? He just makes the call. Newbie will show his Jack 10, but it is no good. As the 7-4 will win the $180 pot. Another $10 straddle. So just like that, that's it. That makes it a 1-3 $10 game. I've always said this basically plays like a 5-10 game that you would find at a Vegas poker room. Looks like a small raise here from El Jefe. Raising it up to 30 with the King Queen suited. Pretty hand. Eli with the better hand has the pocket pair. Makes the call. And it's going to fold around to CC Drew. Oh, the Rio Livas making the call with his suited 1-gapper. And CC Drew coming along with the Queen 5. Ace high flop. The Rio Livas hitting a 6. It does go check around though. As a 7 showing up on the turn. Eli should be betting here if it's checked to him. But it looks like CC Drew's going to take the betting lead here. With his straight draw. So CC Drew with a straight draw. Eli worried about the ace, but will make the call one time.
Heads up action to the
And heads up we go. CC Drew needed a queen or a 4. Instead, it is a jack. And let's see if he puts on the bluff. This is a very good card to bluff, as the flush draw did complete. Does have the queen of spades in his hand, so he's going to represent the flush here. Nice bet here from CC Drew. And I think it's going to work. Chunky bet. Looks like about 170.
170.
It is 170.
170. 170.
The flush draw arrived, and now there's 2 overcards here, pocket pair. Although nobody should really have the jack here. He's worried about the ace. He's worried about the flush draw. And CC Drew's going to make him make a difficult call if he wants to win this pot. This is Eli's second buy-in. And normally players approach their second buy-in differently. Sometimes they play a little bit tighter. Sometimes they play a little bit looser. I don't know what category Eli falls into. I think we're going to find out. He has no spade in his hand, has 2 red 10s. So he's really worried about that flush. But he's in for 2 buy-ins. He's going to make the call. Great call from Eli. And CC Drew's not going to believe that he got called by 10s. So as I said, it's Eli's second buy-in, and seems to be the type of player that plays a little bit looser on that second buy-in, as he does make a hero call here with the pocket 10s. Didn't think his opponent had the ace, and he does make the call. So that's, I was going to say that might get him unstuck. It does not. But now it is CC Drew down on the bottom. Looks like CC Drew reaching for an add-on, and he's going to be adding on to his chip stack.
Stream table.
So we have New York on one end in the green, and then we have Corpus Christi on the other end. Pretty sure most people would automatically associate NY with New York, and that is the case here, as New York Bob did grow up. He is from Long Island. And then CC, I mean, maybe if you're in Texas, you make the correlation. But CC standing for Corpus Christi. It's one of the bigger cities here in South Texas. When I say South Texas, I'm basically saying everything south of San Antonio. Yes, technically San Antonio is South Texas, but San Antonio, one of the top 10 biggest cities in the United States. So San Antonio, San Antonio. They're not South Texas. San Antonio, San Antonio. So it looks like we have a straddle under the gun, and El Jefe making the call here with the Jack Deuce of Diamonds. Matt had 10s earlier, did not work out for him, and he's going to try him out again. So he does raise it up to 40. I do like this raise sizing. But Newbie's going to be making the call, and who knows what Newbie has. All right, Newbie does have a hand that's worthy of a call, and some might even argue worthy of a 3-bet. But Newbie does have position, so he will make the call, and El Jefe perhaps should have folded the Jack High pre-flop. Going to be making the call, pretty much getting priced in as we go 4 ways to a flop. Huge flop for El Jefe. I like a check raise here. There's the check. The problem is I don't think anybody's going to bet. Everybody's scared of the ace, and everybody does check. So good turn / bad turn for El Jefe. as the ace does pair up, and it looks like he's going to put out a small bet here.
Yeah,
30 into 170. That's going to get a call from Matt. And Yubi going to represent the ace here. Kind of a weird bet from El Jefe, to be honest with you. I don't mind the bet, but the bet size in was way too small. $30 into 170. And in a way, this is actually working out in his favor because Yubi sensed weakness and Yubi put on the raise. I think Matt should be done with the hand, but he is getting a very good price here, $60 more, but he does make the fold. And it's going to be interesting to see if Yubi follows up here and puts out a big bet on the river. So 3 pair for El Jefe. And Yubi's going to have to put out, Yubi's going to have to go all in here. He has king high. He knows king high is no good here. There's the check. And can Yubi pull the trigger and say the 2 magic words? Oh, it looks like he's going to wave the white flag. He had a plan, raising the turn. No, he's going to have to go all in. This is... Yeah. He's betting 150, and he followed through halfway. You gotta go all in. You gotta put your opponent to the test. And he is putting his opponent to the quiz. Oh, El Jefe saying if you got the ace, you got the ace. And Yubi with the immediate fold.
sorry. Yeah, I gotta get up to 212.
So El Jefe figured that if his opponent had the ace, he would put them all in. So he said, no, my opponent doesn't have the ace. I got the jack. So Eli with the good play with the 10s, and El Jefe with the good play with the jack deuce.
What else can I do?
Yeah, so I think Yubi had the right idea,
Alright, man, you
just did not execute it properly, as we do have a dealer change. We are 1 hour into tonight's stream, so as they take care of the dealer change, we will remind you about the Trailblazer Series, the return of the Trailblazer Series, and it's going to make a stop at every Texas Card House location. And we got our same date once again, the week between Christmas and New Year. So it's going to make one stop at every location. The first stop will be in North Texas. That's going to be Dallas and the city of Irvin. And then it'll make a stop north of Houston in the city of Spring. Then the same dates as last year will be here in Edinburg. That's Texas Card House RGV. You should probably put Texas Card House RGV on there instead of Edinburg. And the only reason why I say that is because this is known as Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. It's not known as Texas Card House Edinburg. Although we are in the city of Edinburg. Edinburg, one of the many towns and cities that make up the Rio Grande Valley area down in South Texas. Looks like we got a $20 raise coming from I think it was the real Levis that made the $20 raise. Nintendo $64 in the middle, as we have the girl dad flopping a flush draw and the real Levis flopping middle pair. He was your pre-flop raiser. Should probably be putting out a continuation bet and does. It's going to be 45. Of course, that's Michael Jordan's number when he played baseball. Girl dad looks like he's going to be putting in a check raise here with his flush draw. He's counting out 45. He's calling for sure. Does he raise? And the answer is yes. He's going to make it an extra $100 to go. It's 160 actually. Brand new dealer. Ashley goes by Ash Cash. Breaking it down for you to see. See what the real Levis does here. You can see the players are exactly 50-50 right now, as the girl dad has any ace. Oh, real Levis going all in here, and we got ourselves a fair fight. It's exactly 50-50. 9 immediate outs for girl dad, as he does have some backdoor outs available too. He can go runner, 4-4. I don't know if they're going to go twice. Is it one time? And the 6 is going to hold up. You can see the king has not read yet. Oh, they're going twice. They're going twice. I thought they were going twice, but I never got the signal from the dealer. So they are going twice. The real Levi's going to win at least half the pot. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so you can see they're correcting the cards. There you go. And now the production crew will let the dealer know we're good. And they're going to chop it up. So all that drama, the players are going to win $12 each after all that. Me personally, I'm not a fan of running it twice. I know Fletcher, who will be playing on the stream on Wednesday, does not run it twice either. And that's actually why there was the delay. It was the awkward, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? It's kind of like when you ask somebody if they want to go to lunch and they'll be like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Pretty much that's what happened there, as one of the players asked, do you want to run it twice? And the other one said, it's up to you. And then the other one said, well, you pick. So while that was happening, the dealer said, well, I'm going to run it at least once while you guys figure that out. And the dealer ran it once, and the player said, we talked about it, and we're going to run it twice. It is an option the players have, but as I said, me personally, I just like to run it once. Oh, big raise here coming from CC Drew. Really just playing his position here, as he did straddle to $10, and everybody just called the $10. So he figured that nobody had a super strong hand, and he's making a move here. And Matt C is going to make the call. And Levis, who just got it all in with the 5-6, is also going to make the call with the pocket deuces. Newbie makes the call as well. Very similar flop, 9-high flop. 2 clubs this time. Last time it was 9-high flop with 2 diamonds. And somehow the pocket deuces are out in front right now. They're going to check it in flow. Oh, wait. Livas announces all in with his deuces. So the real Livas figures nobody hit the flop, and he's going to figure right. And he will take down the $616 pot. So he figured everybody had big cards. Nobody had a 9 nor a 5. And he goes all in with pocket deuces. And that win will get the real Livas into the green, as he is now up $116. I would imagine there's probably 3 tables going on the main floor based upon the noise that's coming into my booth. I'm on the opposite side. I'm in the same building, but I'm on the opposite side with the door closed and headphones on, and I can still hear the players on the main floor chatting it up. Surprisingly, there's only 2 tables going on the main floor. But those 2 tables are having some fun. So CC Drew should be relaxed, but he is still angry from the hand he lost earlier, as he's really forcing the action here. Yeah, this is on a 15-minute delay, guys. I have 2 of the players that are playing on the stream that are going to disappear in 15 minutes. All right. They're going to give me a spoiler alert. What's the spoiler alert? No spoiler alert? Yeah, that Jack Deuce play was interesting. You just said this guy doesn't have an ace? What? Yeah. Okay. All right. So in 15 minutes, we're going to see 2 of the players disappearing. They walked into my booth. I need to lock the door. So some of the streams that you see out there on YouTube, some of the poker streams, there is remote commentating being done, and I've actually done some remote commentating as well. But I am here in the same building, and I do feel that does make a bit of a difference, as I'm able to talk to the players before the stream, get a little information, and I have played with all these players before. So really do think it helps to have a little bit more information on the players beforehand, as we do have a straddle coming from New York Bob under the gun. Newbie going to be making the call with the Baskin Robbins hand. That's a 3 and a 1, 31 flavors. CC Drew does the same with the ace-5. Girl Dad with the suited king coming along. El Jefe with the 10-7 offsuit. Everybody going to be making the call, and New York Bob's going to check his option. Has a very good hand if you play blackjack. 9 deuce. Not so good at the poker table. Top pair for Girl Dad. Let's see if he puts out a bet. Newbie hit him bottom pair, as does Tres Mentiras, and Newbie's going to lead here for $20. Girl Dad making the call with the top pair. Let's see if Tres Mentiras does as well. Tres Mentiras with some backdoor hearts. He will make the call. And we will go 3 ways to a turn. Oh, Tres Mentiras hitting his 2 pair on the turn. Does check. And everybody checks. And now Grodad hit in 2 pair. I think Tres Mentiras is going to lead here since it got checked on the turn. And he does put out a bet here. So the river has not, there it is. So action on Tres Mentiras betting $50. Should see a raise here from Grodad. Oh, Newbie. Newbie making the call here with the ace-3. And I thought Grodad would be raising here, but now that Newbie called, Grodad might just make the call. He's not folding, but he just makes the call as a straight did arrive. So Newbie's not going to be able to beat that. A little surprised that Newbie called the river there, especially with a player left to act behind you. But then again, I should not be surprised, as Newbie will always make some plays that have me scratching my head. It looks like Newbie's going to walk it off. No. Just giving room for the other player to get in. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup, back-to-back champions, as they beat Edmonton Oilers last year and they beat them again this year. Kind of crazy for Canada, their national sport being hockey, and they have not won a Stanley Cup since the 90s. Not only that, it is Florida that wins the Stanley Cup. You go from a country that gets a ton of snow to a state that has no snow. How does that make any sense? A state where it doesn't snow wins the Stanley Cup, and they beat a team from Canada. Oh, Eli with the Kings. Eli puts on the 3-bet to 65, picks up a call from the Rio Livas, who flops bottom pair. New York Bob with the 8s. This is a decent flop for him, but he is going to check to the aggressor, and the aggressor is going to put out a pretty big bet here. Looks like 150. Ash Cash will break it down and confirm for the production crew. 155. Really puts New York Bob in a weird spot, but I think the sizing is going to be too big for him to call. Has to specifically put his opponent on ace-king, as his opponent did 3-bet, which is normally a sign of strength, but his opponent is on the button. So all these thoughts going through New York Bob's mind, and I'm sure some hockey thoughts are in that head as well. New York Bob does have another player to worry about in his hand as the Rio Livas is in, and the Rio Livas flopping bottom pair. Seems like an easy fold, but we're able to see the cards. And looks like New York Bob's going to call at least one time, and this might bring along the Rio Livas, as now he is going to be closing the action, and he does have bottom pair. So action is now on seat 1. As I mentioned earlier, the camera for seat 1 is not working, so we will see his hands fold. And in a weird way, New York Bob wants to see an ace or a king, because that's going to save him some money. And this 4 might cost him some money. He's going to check, and Eli's going to announce all in. $500 in the pot, $400 in his stack, and New York Bob wants a count.
I'm not calling it. No, that's okay. I just didn't know if that was 100.
So the 8 of hearts might save New York Bob here, as it's less likely his opponent has a flush draw. New York Bob had no hearts in his hand. Chances that his opponent had 2 hearts are greater. So if he was thinking about making a hero call, even though it seems trivial, the 8 being a heart, it actually is not. So New York Bob knows his opponent has 2 overcards to his 8s. The only question is, do they match? And yes, they do. New York Bob makes the reluctant fold, but it was the right fold. And that's one of the good things about playing on the stream, is that you're going to be able to see if you made the correct play. So even though New York Bob is not happy right now, he will be happy in 15 minutes. We're on a 15-minute delay. This action did take place 15 minutes ago. And if you heard, we had 2 of the players playing on the stream come into my booth to see my setup here. $10 under the gun straddle. Girl Dad just calling with the 7s. I might have raised with the 7s to try to clear out some players behind you. Probably would have taken it to 30 personally. But New York Bob is going to raise it up to 45 here. Sevens should be calling here. Wow, 7's getting out of the way. It was a small raise too. Went from $10 to 45, so I would have played those 7s totally different. And let's see if a queen or a jack show up. Great flop for the 7s. New York Bob probably going to put out a continuation bet here. Maybe 60. And it is exactly 60. Tres Mentiras has the ace-4, has some backdoor possibilities. He's thinking about calling once in position. Is he gonna raise? I'm guessing he announced raise. Yeah, he did announce raise. So Tres Mentiras does not believe that New York Bob hit this flop, and he is correct. But can New York Bob continue here? The problem is not the $100 that you have to call here. The problem is what happens on the turn. Because chances are you're not going to hit a queen or a jack. So New York Bob making a play at this pot. Tres Mentiras kind of one-upping him here. New York Bob really thinking about this. It really feels like Tres Mentiras hit a set here, as he did limp on the button and then call a raise. It really feels like Tres Mentiras is strong here and puts on a small raise. Really feels like he has pocket sixes, pocket threes, or maybe even 8-6. And that's what Bob is worried about as well. If I call this bet, what happens on the turn? New York Bob just losing the previous pot, but he did make the correct fold then with the pocket eights. And of course, the very next flop comes 8 high. And New York Bob making the correct fold again. Doesn't feel good at the time, but as I said, he's gonna watch this stream when he gets home and pat himself on the back. So Girl Dad, your leader, he's up over $500. Then we have Tres Mentiras, who just put on that move with ace high. He's also in the green. El Jefe in as well. New York Bob still in the green. Eli making a big comeback as he was in for $1,000. So he's made a comeback. He's actually in for 800, excuse me. He was in for 500, then he rebought for the minimum, which is 300. And I believe it's been 15 minutes, so there go seats 3 and 4. And 15 minutes ago, they burst into my booth here. New York Bob picking up another nice start in hand. 40% of a royal flush. And he's going to raise it up. Kind of a small 3-bet, but he does have position. I see 3 and 4. Right now, bothering the commentator. As I said, we're on a 15-minute delay. These players started playing at 7:03. We're on a 15-minute delay, so yeah, we started streaming at 7:18. Everybody with live cards, King Jack, Queen 10, and Ace 9, everybody with the live cards. And it's going to be New York Bob who makes the best hand. You can see this pot is almost $300. Showing New York Bob just has, yeah, New York Bob has $400 in his stack. So probably about $130. I like $130. He bet 105, but that gets the job done. So New York Bob finally raking in a pot. And he's the only player in for $366. So the normal 1-3 game here at the Texas Card House, the minimum buy-in is $100, and the maximum buy-in is $1,000. For the stream table, the minimum buy-in is $300, and it is an uncapped game. So the stream table does play a little bit bigger than our normal 1-3, just based upon the buy-in. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be streaming on Friday. We do stream every Wednesday and every Friday. And if you're interested in playing on the stream, you can sign in on Poker Atlas or give us a call here at the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. We still have spots available on Friday night. Big raise here from the Rio Livas out of the small blind, and he's picking up 3 callers. New York Bob calling with the 8-4 of spades. You be calling with the 6-4 offsuit. And it's going to be nothing but clubs. Matt C hitting the 7 has the best hand. The Rio Livas with 2 overcards and a straight draw. But everybody checks Newbie. And Newbie going to put out a small bet here. Puts out a $50 bet into 221 with no club in his hand. The Rio Livas going to be making the call. Has a straight draw needing an 8. He also has the best hand right now, but there's no way that he knows that. New York Bob needed a 5 for a straight. The problem is if the 5 of clubs comes, somebody could very easily have a flush. And Bob will get out of the way. I think Yubi's just going to have to move all in here if it is a blank. And now, yeah, the same 8 will make him the straight. And Yubi with 100 to show up, he's just going to have to move all in if he wants to sell this story. No, he does check. Oh, Yubi has the 6. And he is being put all in here. This is actually a good hand for Newbie to call because the Rio Livas would be playing a missed flush draw the same way. So there's certain hands that you want to make a hero call with, and this is one of the hands. But Newbie, instead of making the hero call, is going to be adding on to his stack. I didn't realize that Newbie flopped bottom pair on the flop.
You guys want a snack? Water? Okay. Jeff, you want out here?
So I believe Newbie is adding on. Nope. It's showing he has 412 in his stack, so yeah. I think he added on 300. I believe. Double straddle. $6 under the gun. Double straddle to 12 from Matt C. And action's going to be on Eli. And there's the 300 for Newbie, which I think Newbie does this on purpose. He does things that make me scratch my head on every stream. So if you were going to add on, then why not make the hero call with the 112 that you have if you were planning on adding on? I don't understand. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me what Newbie was thinking there, as the pot was over $300, I believe. Oh, Matt C with the ladies. I'm pretty sure the previous pot was over $300. Newbie had 112. And if you're thinking about making a hero call, then that's when to make the hero call. And if you're not going to make the hero call, that's fine. If you want to preserve the $112 and try to spin it up, I mean, I understand that. But if you're going to add on afterwards, then why not make the hero call? And if you're right, you win a huge pot. And if you're wrong, well, you were going to add on either way. Cookie. Cookie. Me want cookie. I don't think anybody has a hand strong enough to call Matt. And everybody does get out of the way. So our first double straddle of the night, and the player wakes up with the ladies. So Matt put it on the double straddle, and he is putting on the regular straddle here.
6 live.
I'll probably watch it on the flight. Let's see if I can download it on Netflix or whichever.
Action is on Eli. Somebody did not scan their cards. All right, we now have everybody's card scanned. Tres Mentiras just making the call, as does New York Bob.
7. Oh, sorry, 6.
And
I thought it
the
was
real Livas just calling with the pocket 7s. And that's going to bring everybody else along.
okay.
So 5 ways to the flop we go? No, 7 ways to the flop we go. 7 times 6 is 42, right? Yeah, 7 times 6. 7-way flop. And it is all diamonds. Nobody with the king. Girl dad with the best diamond.
8 4. 1 4 3 4.
Tres Mentiras putting out a bet here with his 9 of diamonds. And that's going to get the job done. Looks like Girl Dad putting on the $6 straddle. Looks like El Jefe getting some change from Tres Mentiras. And action's going to be on El Jefe. Does make the call with the suited queen. Eli taking it up to 40 with the 8s. CC Drew making the call with the 10-7. Mentioned this earlier, he does seem to be forcing it a bit. And he's going to hit a 7. Eli's probably going to be scared about that ace, and he does check. CC Drew checks behind, and now El Jefe hits the queen. This pot's already $130. Checking it once again to CC Drew, and he's going to put out a bet. I actually like this bet here. He does have a pair, and it did get checked to him twice. So even if he gets called here, he will have the opportunity on the river to represent once again. And El Jefe making the call with the best hand right now. CC Drew looking for a 10 or a 7. Instead, it's a 6. And CC Drew got caught bluffing once. Decides not to bluff this time, and El Jefe will take down the $310 pot. So CC Drew there in seat number 2. The CC standing for Corpus Christi. The Drew short for Andrew. Corpus Christi located in the Coastal Bend area. Basically right on the Texas coast between Houston and Brownsville. Just north of Corpus Christi, you have Port Aransas. Got a lot of good fishing in Port Aransas for all you folks that are DTF down to fish. And then we got Jeff there in seat 4 joining us from Austin. You have Tres Mentiras with the arm sleeve tattoo. He's joining us from Brownsville. He is in the Rio Grande Valley. but he's about an hour away. And then next time you have New York Bob, who now lives in the Rio Grande Valley, but is from Long Island.
Five players.
5 ways we go to a flop. And there's an ace again. 2 pair for El Jefe. And he's going to want to bet here if it's checked to him. I like at least 35, maybe 40. Let's see what El Jefe likes.
Four bets. 30.
Looks like 30.
5 players. 8 calls.
New York Bob making the call here with 8 high.
Press up.
Diamonds do arrive. And let's see if New York Bob represents those diamonds. He does not. Yeah, New York Bob has already folded as El Jefe is assembling a bet.
You feel like you had to wait. Let us see how much you lose that.
I would say 50. Brush, table 9. He's just gonna add on 700.
Oh, CC Drew added on 700.
Siete. Yes. Yes, Drew, 7. Should be a $10 live show. 700 pay.
So El Jefe, as I said, joining us tonight from Austin, has some family down here in the Rio Grande Valley. And I believe he said the drive from his house in Austin, the city of Austin, down to the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley was just under 4.5 hours. The only reason why I say that is because there was another stream that is in the Austin area who said that it's a 6-hour drive down to the Rio Grande Valley. And I mean, I guess if you leave at 7 in the morning and hit that Austin traffic, I mean, I guess. CC Drew added on for 700, raising with the 10-8, taking it down. We are 3 hours directly south of San Antonio, but I will agree the drive does seem longer because there's not a lot of things between here and San Antonio. But the speed limit is 75 between here and San Antonio, so you're able to set your cruise control at somewhere between 70 and 80 and make the trip down. As I said, it does feel longer than it is just because there's not a lot. But I would rather have a boring drive than a drive filled with traffic. Girl Dad with the 9s raises it up to 15. And I think 15 is just the wrong sizing. I mentioned this earlier that you're getting too many calls. Should be raising it up to at least 20. You can see we got 6 ways to the flop here. And there's the king. Matt C with the king. New York Bob with the 10 will check. It's hard to continue here with the 9s with 2 overcards multi-ways. And Girl Dad will check, and Matt C will bet 40. New York Bob with middle pair, not ready to let go yet. Believe he's short $5, right? It was a $40 bet? Yeah, he's short $5. Looked like he threw out 35. El Jefe with bottom pair has some backdoor possibilities. El Jefe will be closing off the action. Thinking about making the call, but he does think better. And we will go heads up to a turn. New York Bob looking for a 10 or a 4, good buddy. Oh, and there's the 10. New York Bob checking once again. Matt C slows out, and now Matt hits the king. What a crazy hand. I think New York Bob's just going to have to call it off here. You have a full house. But he knows that there's a good chance his opponent has the king. But you have a full house. His opponent can very easily be better than an ace as well here. I think you have to call it off. And he's talking to his opponent saying, I have the dummy and I have the 10. Trying to get a reaction from his opponent. These players are not mic'd up. Yeah, he's just going to have to call it off, and he's going to see the king. The players are not mic'd up. However, there are 2 microphones overhead. Whenever you see the overhead camera shot, there's a microphone on each end. So I'm normally able to hear the players. You can sometimes hear if they get a little loud, but I don't think they've gotten too loud tonight. But we still have over 2 hours to go on the stream. Yeah, so it is 6 hours to Austin if you drive 55. That was the speed limit last century. Was it Sammy Hagar with the song, I Can't Drive 55? It's actually a pretty good rock song. Oh, Tres Mentiras with the Rockets. Yeah, Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55. What year did the song come out? Uh-oh. The Rio Livas making a move here with the 7-4 of clubs, and it is not going to work. 1984, the song I Can't Drive 55. Tres Mentiras should be putting on the 4-bet here. It is 70. He should be making it probably around 250. Yeah, it looks like 250. Or 270 now. $275. He had 20 in there. Yeah, New York Bob with the dead man's hand. Can't call here. Newbie will be folding. The Rio Livas who made a move here. Don't know what he's going to do. The New York Bob should get out of the way. Newbie should get out of the way. The real Levis, who got a little bit frisky here with the 7-4. Yeah, he's done. So Tres Mentiras going to take it down with the aces. Yeah, I Can't Drive 55. Sammy Hagar, 1984. VH1 naming it the 100th. The 100th greatest rock song ever. For you kids who don't know, the 55 used to be the speed limit, the speed limit in the United States. That was the fastest you were allowed to drive on the highways, the interstates, the freeways. It was 55. And back in 1984, it did take 6 hours to get from the Rio Grande Valley to Austin, but not anymore, not anymore. So Matthew Bush asking, what's the usual start and stack in this game on average? So the minimum buy-in is $300. The minimum buy-in is $300 for this game that is on the stream. The blinds are $1, $3, which is the main game that we run here at the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. But on the main floor, as we have a couple of tables going on the main floor, the minimum buy-in there is $100 with a $1,000 max. Here on the stream, we do know people like to see big pots. So the minimum buy-in on the stream is $300 and there is no maximum. So a couple of players buying in for $500 at the start of the game. A couple of players buying in for the minimum $300. But I think the start and stack at the beginning, we had a couple players at $500, although CC Drew added on $700 earlier, probably about 15 or 20 minutes ago. $6 under the gun straddle coming from Girl Dad. CC Drew with the suited ace, going to raise it up to 30. Eli making the call with the ace, as does New York Bob. New York Bob has 4 high, but he does have position as he is in the cutoff. So if you were ever wondering what those letters stood for, that's what they stand for. You can see the real Livas on the lower right-hand corner there. It says SB. That means he's in the small blind. CC Drew, BB, big blind. Eli, LJ, that's low jack. And New York Bob, CO, that's cutoff. So CC Drew raising it up here, and he's going to check his ace. Eli's going to bet it. I do like the bet from Eli, as normally an ace is going to be good here. And he's probably going to chop a pot against CC Drew. But CC Drew will make the call. His 9 kicker is, well, actually his 9 kicker is not playing. I just realized that Eli has 2 pair. A king or a 9 is now an out for CC Drew, as it'll give him 2 pairs with a 9 kicker, but Eli's gonna slide out 2 stacks. Stack and a half, looks like 150. Dealer will confirm. It's 155. $160. CC Drew making the call, needing a king, an 8, or a 9 to retake the lead. Oh, and it's going to be a king, so it's going to be a chop pot. Aces and kings with a queen kicker. It's showing he has the check mark, but this is a chop pot. Yeah, chop pot. Aces and kings with a queen kicker. So they will chop it up, winning $33 a piece. And while the dealer takes care of the chop, we remind you about the high hands, as we have the progressive high hands every day here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. We do start playing at 10 a.m. every day, and these high hands start paying out at 11 a.m. From 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, morning progressive high hands, Monday through Friday. I do know when we went on the air, one of the pots was $50, and the other pot was, I believe, $100. Let me check here on the Poker Atlas, the breakdown. And I believe somebody hit the high hand, as the second pot is $100. So somebody hit the main pot of $500, but it is going to start building. It builds $50 every hour. Must use both cards to qualify, and that's why the $50 rollover normally kicks in during the day. High hand must be aces full of kings or better, as El Jefe puts on the $6 Strato UTG under the gun. Action is on Matt, who makes the fold. Tres mentiras, that's 3 lies in English. He will fold. And Yubi puts on a small raise here with the ace 7 to 15. And everybody's going to call his raise, as we will go 5 ways to a flop of exactly $75. It looks like New York Bob went to add on. Looked like he had a rack of green, so it looks like New York Bob added on $500. He's letting the dealer know. New York Bob has played on the stream before, so he does know you have to let the dealer know, and the dealer will relay the information to the production crew. That way we can keep track of all the stats. Did you win a big hand or lose a big hand? So the Rio Leva's going to take it down. So $20 raise, and everybody calling the $20 raise. I knew 15 would not do the trick. Looks like 20's not doing the trick either. One of the reasons to raise is to thin out some of the field, but it looks like nobody getting out of the way, as pretty much everybody makes the call. Ace high on the flop. Eli hitting top pair. Tres Mentiras hitting the pre-flop raiser with the 4s. We'll put out a continuation bet. I actually don't like this C-bet into a multi-way pot with the pocket 4s. Very good chance that one of your opponents has an ace or a 10, and a very good chance you're going to get called. Or you might even get raised, and CC Drew is raising here. He's going to get the best hand to fold. He's going to get Eli to fold. Tres Mentiras is going to be thinking, why did I bet this? And Yubi, who made a light call needing a jack for a gut shot, will also make the fold. Now, if you have the pocket fours there and you're heads up or maybe three ways to a flop and you're in position, then the bet there with the pocket fours is a decent bet. But in early position, multi-ways with the pocket fours there, probably in the long run, not a profitable play. No straddle this hand. UB just announced it to the table. He's going to open up his range. I don't know what that means. Well, I know what that means, but I don't know what that means coming from UB. Matt hitting a tray on the turn to take the lead. It will go check, check. And now the girl dad hitting an ace to retake the lead. Only $21 in the pot. And Matt will make the fold. You can see CC Drew down 789. $789. Matt C down $556. And Yubi, who just announced to the table he's going to open up his range, he's down $286. Everybody else with either a small profit or a big profit. New York Bob up $3. Oh, Tres Mentiras with the AK. Acá. And he looks like he's going to put out a big bet here. Looks like 30. Dealer will confirm. And it is 30. 40. 40. All right, so 20's too little, 40's too much. And looks like we're going to have a dealer change here. And as they take care of the dealer change, we would like to once again remind you the Trailblazer Series is back. So there is 6 Texas Card House locations in the state of Texas, 2 in North Texas, 2 in East Texas, 1 in South Texas, and 1 in Central Texas. And the Trailblazer Series will make a stop at each one. It does begin in September, as it will go to the North Texas area. Texas Card House Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas. That's in the city of Irvin. They will host the first stop. 1 tournament, 2 locations. Then it'll go down I-45, or as they say on the West Coast, the 45, down to Spring, Texas, which is located just north of Houston. And then it'll take I-69, which isn't 100% complete yet, So I-45 down to downtown Houston, where you catch Highway 59, the Southwest Freeway, which is slowly becoming Interstate 69. So take that down to the Rio Grande Valley, and we will be hosting the stop the same time we hosted it last year, the week between Christmas and New Year.
Yes, 5 players so far.
5 ways we go to a flop is we are exactly halfway done with tonight's stream. If you still have not hit the like button, what are you waiting for? Dealer letting Matt know you got to get off the phone, or you got to step out of the room if you're going to be on your phone. 2 pair for the Rio Livas, and he checks it for some reason. It's hard to make 1 pair, and he makes 2 pairs and he checks. Is he checking again? No, the action's on him. It looks like he's going to put out a bet. Betting 40 here. El Hef with a pair and a flush draw. I do like the call in position. It looks like El Jefe agrees with me. Normally a 9 should be good for him as well. Oh, Tres Mentiras with the better flush draw makes the call. And I believe El Jefe is drawn dead. 5, yeah. Oh, he has a straight. Does he have a straight draw? 6.
7 checks. I played volleyball in college. I mean, I've never played.
The Rio Livas gonna put out another bet here with his 2 pair.
That's 110. 6'2" guy.
110. El Jefe will make the fold, and Tres Mentiras does the same. So the Rio Livas will be dragging the pot.
I loved everything except when we go to play in tournaments, like Steven up, you know, that some, whatever our comment all that you had to rep the game too. Afterwards, during the tournament. Like, no,
I believe Newbie has a $10 straddle. So yes, it is a $10 straddle from Newbie. So action's going to be on the Rio Livas. RGV Striker's older brother. Older and wiser.
$10, make it home. One call.
The Rio Livas makes the call as the CC Drew. Girl Dad looking at his cards, and looks like he's going to make the call as well. El Jefe. Limpin' is pimpin'. Ooh, 9s. Should probably be raising there according to the GTO charts.
9 raises it to 3rd.
And here's one of those newbie plays that is a head scratcher. He could have checked his option. Instead, he puts $20 more in. And now, will El Jefe put on a raise? The raise getting CC Drew out of his seat. CC Drew's thinking about making a move and does just that. The raise from newbie did not make any sense. El Jefe with the quick call. CC Drew does not like that. CC Drew with the Jack 6 of hearts. He thought it was a weird play from newbie, so he made a move, and he's getting called in 2 positions. Matt calling him here with 5 high. And is newbie going to be able to call this raise? He is closing off the action with his 4 high. So $80 more for newbie to call. And he's making the call. And it looks like we got a pot of over 500. 580. So the 9's the best of it. Needed to avoid a queen or a jack. I'm sure an ace or king will slow him down though. So 5 ways we go to a $580 pot pre-flop. And pretty much every card is an overcard to the nines. The real Levi's flopping a pair and a straight draw. El Jefe does have a straight draw with the 10, but he does check. And everybody checks. Believe newbie is drawn dead. Any 10 makes a straight, and you can see the real Levi's has that 10. Action is on the real Levi's. Is it Levi's or Livas? He's gonna bet about 40% of the pot, 250. And that should get the job done.
I had you pre-flop. Alright, I'll see you guys. Only because they were suited.
Looks like Girl Dad leaving early. And we do have a seat open on the stream table. I don't know if there's a waiting list. I do know we have a list right now for the Friday game.
Brush, stream table. 1, 2, 3, diamond. Hot chunk. Hot chunk.
I think he just like a break. Lousy card. Give an action. For that lousy raise. I thought I was doing it to see what we did.
Oscar Knight.
So let us see if there is a list for the stream table, as we are 8-handed now. Some people consider this a full table,
I knew what you had.
but it is not.
I figured mine was only better because of the $10 automatic straws and a live show.
I just figured like 200 and I got 200 also. And the buys it showed.
Ready? 10 to play. I was going for that. 2 calls. 3 diamonds, 3 calls.
Another button straddle and some more limps.
4 calls. Whereas other has been 5 calls.
El Jefe does seem to limp a little too much.
6 calls. 7 calls.
Should probably be raising or folding, especially with those 9s on the previous hand. AC Deucey in early position. He's going to hit the ace.
9 checks. 1 checks, 2 checks. 4 checks. 5 checks.
But he's going to check the ace. The real Levi's also with an ace, as spades arrive on the turn. Pretty wet board.
8 checks, 9 bets, 25.
And Newbie going to be betting it here with his pair and straight draw and flush draw. Big turn for Newbie here. Needs a 9 for a straight, a king for a straight, a spade for a flush. Look at all those outs. 14 outs available for Newbie. And he's going to hit the spade to make the best hand.
9 checks.
He is going to check. And El Jefe going to be betting. El Jefe does have a 2-high flush, but Newbie's going to look him up. Jack high flush going to win. So seat open on the stream table. We still have about 2 hours to go on the stream tonight.
He doesn't know how to play.
Normally we get at least 80 hands in during the stream, somewhere between 80 and 100. And we are on pace to make at least 80.
We have a $10 button straddle.
$10 button straddle from New York Bob announced. CC Drew not at his seat, but action will be on Newbie. Action does start to the left of the straddle. Does not jump the blinds. Newbie going to be calling with the 8-4 of diamonds. El Jefe with the ace-3. I just mentioned it. Perhaps he should be raising with the ace-3, although it looks like it's going to work out this time as his opponent has the aces. Small raise here from Eli with the aces, and he's going to pick up calls from probably everybody that called the $10. Newbie calling with the 8-4 diamonds. Action is on Matt here, so we are going 5 ways to a flop. Pocket aces out in front right now, but he has a lot of cards to avoid, and he's not going to avoid them as the real Livas. He has kind of caught fire lately here, has won the last couple of hands, and is probably going to win this hand with the 3 kings. One ace available for Eli. Can somebody tell me what Newbie's doing? Can somebody in the chat tell me what Newbie's doing? Newbie is raising here. A min raise with 8-4 of diamonds. Obviously, the play not going to work as one player has trip kings and the other player has aces. I don't think Eli can fold for a min raise. If this raise was bigger, he could fold the aces. He also has the ace of hearts. So he is scared of the king, but I don't think he's going to fold for $75, especially with the ace of hearts. And once again, if somebody in the chat could tell me what Newbie's doing, I would appreciate it, because I have no clue what Newbie's doing here. First, he called a $45 raise with 8-4 diamonds out of the small blind, and now he's putting on a min raise with 8 high on the flop. Watch a diamond come. The diamond does arrive, but it gives the real Livas a full house. Newbie is drawn dead and only has $144 left. And this is probably going to go check around here. Eli has the aces. Oh, Eli announces all in. Newbie can't call here, can he? Eli's going to have to hit an ace. I was going to go, does the queen make it straight for him? No. If he had the 9, it would, but. Newbie's going all in, drawn dead, folks. And the real Livas is going to be winning a $1,500 pot here. Make it a $2,000, over a $2,000 pot once he puts in the call here. He does make the call. And Eli's going to have to hit the last ace. The ace of spades, El Jefe folding the ace of spades. So there is the ace of clubs is left for Eli. If not, the real Livas going to be winning a $2,100 pot. And he's going to be winning a $2,100 pot. Kings full of 10s. Nice check from the real Livas on the turn when he made his full house. And they will count it down. And it looks like the real Livas does have both players covered. And maybe that's the end of Newbie. I do know he added on $300 earlier, so that might be the end of Newbie. So the real Livas showing his little brother how to get it done. Let's see what the chat says about newbies play. Fletcher says that newbie is pulling a Fletcher. Oh, Eli's out, and I think newbie's out as well. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to watch. What's newbie gonna do? It might be Livas's birthday, but he definitely got a present there. Yeah, so that was Eli's second buy-in, and that was newbie's second buy-in as well, as he did add on $300 earlier. So just like that, we are six-handed. You do see a lot of 6 max tournaments. Don't see a lot of 6-handed cash games. So CC Drew putting on the race. The real Livas, who has been on a heater, gonna play his rush with the best hand right now. And he's gonna flop really good here. Should be check raising. Let's see what he does. The card reader has not picked up the flop. The dealer letting him know what the flop is, and I believe the real Livas let out for 200 here. Oh wow. Drew calling a $200 bet here with king high, and the real Livas hitting a flush. Let's see if he checks. He does check. CC Drew with the queen of hearts might think about making a play here, and he is going to indeed make a play. Does the real Livas just call? That is the question. That is the 7 of hearts on the turn. 7 of hearts on the turn. The real Livas has the ace-high flush draw, and CC Drew is bluffing with the queen of hearts. Real Livas announces all in, and that's actually going to be good for CC Drew, as he's not going to lose any more chips in this pot. Once again, that is the 7 of hearts on the turn. We can see the 7 of hearts. The reader thinks it's the jack of diamonds, but CC Drew just put it on a show here. I don't think he could call with just king queen with the queen of hearts, but it's hard to tell what some of these players are thinking sometimes, especially newbie. I never know what newbie's thinking. So huge heater here for the real Livas. Just won a $2,100 pot the previous hand, and is going to win at least a $1,600 pot here. CC Drew is thinking about being thinking about making a hero call. And from the original Mad Max soundtrack, you got Tina Turner's "We Don't Need Another Hero," and CC Drew agrees, and he does make the fold with king high, drawn dead. So I'm thinking if we stay 6-handed, we're going to get close to 100 hands, as we do have somebody taking the seat. I believe I know who that is, but we'll wait to see what name he's going to pick. I'm pretty sure I know the name he's going to pick, but... So they're going to get a count. What did he put on the table there? All right, now he's putting it away. I have no idea what that was. The dealer getting a count. 339, 339, and that's going to be bull. We'll call it 340. So one of the good things about watching on YouTube is you are able to rewind even though it's live. I cannot rewind as I am seeing this at the same time you're seeing this on the 15-minute delay. But I have no idea what Bull pulled out of his pocket, and to be honest with you, at this point, I do not want to know. So it looks like we have an under-the-gun straddle from Matt C. Tres Mentiras making the call with the suited ace. The real Livas continues his heater, as he does have a pocket pair here. CC Drew adding on to his stack, and the real Livas coloring up. So this game is getting some big stacks as we are 2 hours into 2 hours and 20 minutes into tonight's stream. El Jefe with the queens, small raise here to 30. And you can see he's going to pick up a lot of callers. So normally this is a good open. You can see all the green chips coming on the table here as the real Livas did color up some of his chips, and CC Drew added on 1,000. So CC Drew added on 1,000, and the real Livas trading out some red chips for green chips as we are going 5 ways to a flop, and what a flop for El Jefe. The bad news is nobody has a jack. The good news is CC Drew has a straight draw, so I don't think he's folded to a bet. El Jefe checking his full house. Matt C checking out. Tres Mentiras hitting an ace. I think El Jefe needs to put out a bet here. He needs to start building a pot. 150 in the pot, probably 75. There's 50 that has been cut out, and he's going to go 50. No, he's going to go 75. He does not know what he's going to do. And he's going to settle on 60. Nice fold from Tres Mentiras. But CC Drew is not folding, looking for a 9 or a king. Does not want to see it. He's drawn dead. And it is a 6. I like a small bet here from El Jefe. Get a crying call from an ace. Bet 60 on the turn. I'm thinking somewhere between 100 and 150. But it looks like he's going to go big. He bets 200 and a quick fold from CC Drew.
Thank you.
So El Jefe flopping a full house, taking down the pot. CC Drew put it on the $10 straddle. Keep in mind, there is no max. This is an uncapped game. And CC Drew is down $1,600. El Jefe just won the last pot. Has some suited cards. He thinks they're worth $10.
Five calls. 6 calls, 7 calls,
And everybody limping here.
8 calls,
The Rio Livas does fold.
and 2 checks.
And CC Drew does check his option.
We have 6 players to the flop.
6 ways we go. King high flop, 2 hearts. Huge flop for Matt C. And he casually checks. Flops top pair and a flush draw. Ooh, set of deuces for Tres Mentiras. Spicy turn, as that's going to give a straight draw to both New York Bob and CC Drew. And Bull coming along as well with his open ender. Tres Mentiras putting on the raise. We'll get a fold from New York Bob as well as CC Drew. Matt's not folded, nor is Bull. Just like that, we have a $300 pot.
We got 3-way action to the river.
285 actually. And there's the heart for Matt. He's gonna check, hoping his opponent bets. And I think his opponent should bet here.
6 checks.
Oh, Tres Mentiras checks his set.
7 checks.
Put one of his opponents on a flush draw, and he was correct. So Tres Mentiras saving some money by checking the river. El Jefe adding on to 5. So this game is getting pretty big.
Yeah.
I know the thumbnail says $1, $3 are the blinds, but this game plays a lot more closer to a 5-10 Vegas game, and the players are adding on to their stacks. Keep in mind, we will be streaming again on Friday. We will be streaming on the main channel on Friday. Right now, we're streaming on the secondary channel. The main channel being TCH Live Poker.
$3 play.
El Jefe actually up $300, but still adding on.
No. 7 folds, 8 raises it to 15. 1 calls, 2 calls, 4 folds, 5 folds, and 6 calls. Sorry. My bad. We have 4 players to the flop.
4 ways we go to the flop.
Bets 25. 8 folds.
2 pair for the Rio Livas versus a straight. Uh-oh. Top 2 versus a straight. And Bull going all in. The Rio Livas going to be making the call. Has 3 outs. One 5 has been folded. Has 2 7s and 1 5. He will get there 17% of the time. If not,
239.
Bull, who just sat down at the table, is going to be doubling up.
Yes. Correct. All right. No more action. Good luck, gentlemen.
7 or a 5. 7 or a 5. It is a double for Bull. So Livas finally losing a pot. Still probably the big winner of the night thus far, as we still have an hour and a half to go. So let's see the totals after that hand. Yeah, the Rio Livas still the leader. He's up over 2K. Tres Mentiras in the green. And with that double up, Bull is now in the green. New York Bob, Matt C, and Corpus Christi Drew all in the red.
You have $10 on these. You just gotta get things going. Thank you so much. 1 fold, 2 folds, 3 folds, sorry, 4 folds, 5 folds. 6 calls, 7 folds. Heads up action. 6 bets 20. 8 calls. Oh, wait, here. What? No, it's 100.
Yeah, it's showing there was a $100 bet, but that was not the case, so they're clearing that up. You can see there's only $20 in the pot.
I'll check it. I checked it. Yes. $10. Okay, cool. Seat 6. Yes. 9 of clubs, 3 of hearts, 2 of spades. And then got 20 calls. Alright. What's your turn? Six checks, 8 checks, 1 to the river.
Yeah, something definitely reading wrong there is we could see the king on the river that is showing an 8. And I do not see a 9 on that flop. So card reader picking up something wrong. That does happen occasionally.
Alright, there's a play. 1 4. 2 raises it to 10.
$10 raise.
4 calls, 5 calls. 6 calls, 7 calls. 8 calls. We have 5 players in the flop. 5 players.
5 ways we go to a flop. Huge flop for El Jefe.
Checks.
Flops 2 overcards, a flush draw, and a straight draw. And CC Drew's going to lead out with middle pair. How does El Jefe approach this hand? Looks like he's just going to call.
5 folds. 6 folds. 7 raises it to 130. Sorry, 8.
Oh, and New York Bob putting on the raise here with top pair.
2 folds.
El Jefe with the best equity right now. You can see he's at 63%. He's just going to make the call. And we got ourselves a big pot building, over $340 in the middle. El Jefe looking for a queen, a jack, not a 3. You can see he has 16 outs, 1-6, 16 outs available. Yeah, El Jefe can't fold here. El Jefe cannot fold here. The paired board might get him to pause before he makes the call, but I don't think he could fold here. Still basically 50-50, even though he missed the turn. Yeah, it looks like he's going to call. Has too big of a hand. 16 outs, 1-6. 2 overcards, a straight draw, a flush draw. And too many outs. He's going to miss. How do you miss 16 outs twice? Too many outs for El Jefe. New York Bob going to be winning this pot. $641 in the pot, $544 in New York Bob's stack. And he's going to put out a $165 bet. So I do not know what his entrance music is, but in 15 minutes we're going to see another player taking his seat. Probably going to buy him for the minimum. That's what he normally does. We got Bob the dealer. I think El Jefe's just putting on a show here, as he only has queen high. Yeah, he's going to have to let it go. So Bob the dealer just snuck into my booth. I really got to lock it. It's about the third person that's coming to the booth tonight. Normally nobody comes into the booth, but tonight I've had 3 people. So in 15 minutes, we're going to see Bob, as he did win one of our tournaments that we streamed here a couple of months ago. And he also deals here at the Texas Card House. So a couple of seats available. Bob going to be taking one of those here in less than 15 minutes. He asked me to play his entrance music. I do not know what his entrance music is. Bob the Bear.
We got 4 players to the flop.
Jack high flop. Everybody missing. The ace high still in front. Oh, looks like Bull's making a play here. He does have the best hand. Hard for him to know that. Pretty much praying everybody folds. And everybody does just that. So 3 players in the red. El Jefe, who started the previous hand in the green, now down $11.
No. You told it. What you do? Yeah. All right. 3 to play.
Matt just calling here with the suited king queen. Looks like El Jefe gonna walk it off after missing all those outs. Tres Mentiras raising it up with the suited King Jack. Gets a quick call from New York Bob on the button. CC Drew with the suited Queen gonna do the same. Actually, he's gonna put on the 3-bet.
To 160.
Takes it up to 160. And Matt announcing all in. CC Drew has definitely been the most aggressive player by far tonight. I personally think he's trying a little bit too hard. And he might have to call it off here in very bad shape, as Matt has less than $400 and CC Drew raised it up to 160. Yeah, so CC Drew might have to call it off. He's not going to like it, but based upon the pot odds, I think he's going to have to call it off here. New York Bob will fold the best 10. And CC Drew does indeed make the angry call. He knows he's behind. He knows he got caught. And his opponent letting him see his hand. Oh, there's the 10. CC Drew getting lucky. There's only one king left now for Matt. He can go running spades as well. And that's not available now that CC Drew made a full house on the turn. So that's going to do it for Matt C. And as I said, we are going to pick up another player as Bob the Dealer going to be coming in. As a matter of fact, New York Bob might be trying to recruit players. So CC Drew making the wrong move at the right time, as he does get lucky against Matt. And he's still down over 1,000. Winning that last spot, he's still down over 1,000. So Eli, in for 2 buy-ins, lost. Newbie, in for 2 buy-ins, lost. Both players not rebuy-in. So they're not listed on and CC Drew really pushing the action. This time he does have a hand to do so. Has the ace queen. You can see Boo's going to call him with the 6-9. And Tres Mentiras does the same. That also brings along the Rio Livas. Ten high flop once again. And that's a pretty good flop for Bull. Called a $25 raise with 6-9. And flops the straight, and he's going to lead right out. Interesting play here. And he's betting big. $103 in the pot, and it looks like he's going to bet over pot. 2 pair for the Rio Livas. Yeah, he puts out a huge bet here. Let's see if Rio Livas is going to be able to get away from it. No, he's not. As he flopped bottom 2 pair. So these 2 players going at it again. Same deal. Last time the Rio Livas flopping 2 pair and Bull flopping a straight. The straight held on last time, but this time Livas has all 4 outs available. And the 9 coming on the turn opens up some chop possibilities. Bull with a pot-sized bet left, and he's going to go all in. And the real Livas going to fold. So Bull coming in for 339, the last player to sit down. And he has turned that 339 to over a $500 profit thus far.
You actually just told me. Now it's 5-4 right
Now my favorite number is 34 and a half.
So as I said, we're 6 at it now, but we did pick up a player. We are picking up a player. $10 button straddle from CC Drew. Action's going to be on El Jefe. Action's not on Tres Mentiras. There we go. Action's on El Jefe. Should probably be folding this hand. And does.
$10.
And Bull going to be playing his rush with the King 6 offsuit. Small raise coming from Tres Mentiras here, as there was a $10 button straddle. And CC Drew does like to defend his straddle. You can see he made the call, $15 more with the 8-5. Bull does the same. And we're going 3 ways to a $76 pot. Tres Mentiras hitting top pair. Probably a small bet, about 35. CC Drew did hit bottom pair. And there's a small bet. Tres Mentiras betting 40. CC Drew going to be making the call in position with the 8. And Bull does make the fold. So heads up to a turn we go. $156 in the pot. Tres Mentiras with the ace as the best hand right now.
That's oh sorry, 6-4.
And now Tres Mentiras picking up a flush draw to go along with his top pair. CC Drew still needs an 8 or a 5 to take the lead.
Seat 7 bets 100.
Tres Mentiras sizing up to $100, betting 2/3 of the pot, and I believe that's going to get the job done. I think CC Drew was going to call up to like $75, $80. I think 80 was the number he would call up to. Tres Mentiras shows the ace of diamonds. Yeah, so the best or easiest way to get a seat is through Poker Atlas, or you could also call us here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. We do stream every Wednesday night and every Friday night. We are one of 6 Texas Card House locations across the state of Texas. One of 4 streaming locations. They stream every Tuesday night in Dallas, every Wednesday night TCH Live in Austin, every Thursday night in Houston, and we do stream every Friday night on TCH Live. This is actually the secondary channel you are watching, so if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do take care of that. Oh, New York Bob getting tricky here with the Kings, just making the call. Oh my gosh, CC Drew flopping trips. New York Bob getting tricky. And CC Drew also going to get tricky as he checks his trips. So both players getting tricky. And now, New York Bob puts out a bet, and CC Drew continues to slow play. I like a big raise here from CC Drew. I might even go 500. No, 500 is too much based upon his stack size. No, well, he bet 150, so he has over 1,000. So yeah, I might go 500. I know it sounds crazy, but based upon the way he played this hand, he was super tricky. He set the trap on the flop and on the turn, and now he bet 600. He bet 600. This looks really, really, really suspicious. I think 500 was the number based upon the stack size. New York Bob started the hand with about 1,200. So yeah, I think 600 might be too much. I think New York Bob would have called 500, but he is cutting out the 450. New York Bob's going to be thinking to himself, why did I get so tricky on the flop? CC Drew raised with the 4 deuce. New York Bob just made the call. New York Bob did straddle. New York Bob did straddle. CC Drew raised his straddle. And here comes that 7th player. And 600 was the right amount as he's going to make the call. And New York Bob cannot believe it. The flush draw did miss, and New York Bob did not have the king of diamonds. So he put his opponent on a missed draw. Very draw heavy flop. Straight draws, flush draws available, everything missed. And CC Drew laid the perfect trap and wins a $1,300 pot. So we got New York Bob and we got Ed Calchosa Bob.
302. I'm not even 302.
He's coming in for 302.
Just Bob coming in. Alright, we're good? Alrighty. 1-3. Good luck, gentlemen.
I know it sounds like I'm being results oriented, but New York Bob just calling the raise with the kings. I thought he should have put on the 3-bet because he was out of position. If he was in position, I can get behind the call, but he's picking up a hand here, and he's not going to be slow playing this hand. There's the 3-bet. And Bull makes the call with the worst ace.
Doesn't matter.
What's special about today? Fletch?
So New York Bob going to put out the continuation bet. Should get the job done. It's a small $30 bet.
What's the great lady?
Sizing down has piqued Bull's curiosity. And Bull's going to be calling here. Bull needed a 6. Instead, it is a backward 6. New York Bob picking up the flush draw. No reason for him to slow down. He 3-bet pre-flop, bet the flop, and is now betting the turn with the flush draw. Sizes up to 55 now. Bull calling the $30 bet. Oh, Bull making a move. And New York Bob cannot believe his luck. Although this time he does have the best of it. It's a big raise from Bull. But New York Bob says, I'm not folding. Just makes the call here, leaving himself with less than $200 behind. What happens if he doesn't hit a club? What happens if he doesn't hit an ace or a king on the river? And Bull puts him all in. We might find out as the river is on its way and it does pair the board. Thinking New York Bob's just going to check. Yeah, Bull does give up, and the ace-king is going to win. Bob's not going to believe it. Bob losing with kings the previous hand, and now winning with ace-high this hand. You got to love/hate poker at the same time. So Bob winning the pot, but still thinking about the kings he got cracked on the previous hand.
I'll be back with your
And after all that, Bob is only down $91. So even though he is in the negative,
We have a $10 button strike.
definitely feels like he should be losing a lot more.
Well, that's into play.
I would've, if I would've gone in, all in with pocket fingers, I would've.
So,
It is a $10 straddle from Tres Mentiras. Action on New York, Bob.
we can't have a mistake. Did you see it? Yeah, he saw it. Because a card flashed.
I think Bob is going to fold here. Maybe his card flashed, I'm not sure. But either way, he's not going to call with Queen 4. Bob announced that he folded the 4 of diamonds. New York Bob, that is. And RGV Bob makes the call with the suited King Queen. El Jefe just calling with the 7s here.
We have 3 players.
He did the same thing with 9s earlier, and it did not work out for him then. And I don't think it's going to work out for him now, as Tres Mentiras does flop an ace and quickly leads out. I actually think he should call here with the 7s, as there is a flush draw on the board.
4 calls.
Yeah, El Jefe agrees. Now, if your opponent bets the turn again, then it's time to let it go. And El Jefe gonna check.
6 checks.
I think Tres Mentiras is gonna put out a small bet, maybe 30.
7.
No, it's a big bet.
I don't even know what you're saying.
All right, now I think he should fold the 7s. $70 bet.
Oh, no shit.
Like I said, I don't mind a call on the flop, but I think now is the time to get rid of the 7s. And El Jefe agrees. Tres Mentiras shows him the ace, and we're going to have a dealer change. We're going to have exactly an hour left in tonight's stream.
Oh. I never opened my
So we have exactly an hour left in tonight's stream. The Austin location was streaming on the main channel, TCH Live, and they just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago. So if you are joining us from the TCH Live Poker channel, welcome to the secondary channel for Texas Card House, and it is simply called Texas Card House, 3 different words. The main channel is TCH Live Poker, 3 different words, the TCH one word, the live another word, and poker. So this is the secondary channel if you're just joining us. Like I said, I know the Austin stream just finished, and we still have an hour to go on the stream from the Rio Grande Valley. We're in South Texas, about 4.5 hours south of Austin. Normally it takes me about 4 hours and 20 minutes with no traffic to drive between the two. I have made that drive before many times. But I do have the cruise control set over over 80. Normally cruise it between 80 and 85. Oh, interesting hand here is we have top pair versus a flush draw. Bull with the ace of clubs as well. You can see the jack of diamonds has been folded, taking away one of his outs. Bull still in the lead. And he's going to bet 100 here. Bob, New York Bob making the quick call. Looking for a club or a jack. Instead, it'll be a 9. And Bull going to bet 100 again. New York Bob cannot call here. He can raise, but he cannot call. Can't believe he missed the flush draw. But he will let it go. Looks like CC Drew not in his seat. So even though there's 7 stacks on the table, 6 players in their seats. CC Drew only down $617. CC Drew will get dealt in. This is unique to the stream. It's basically like you're playing a tournament. You cannot miss your blinds. Now, if you're playing a normal cash game on the main floor, as a matter of fact, you can see one of the tables behind you there. If you're playing on the main floor and you miss a blind, then you get the miss blind button, which is pretty standard. But if you're playing on the stream, it's like a tournament. You cannot miss your blinds. You will get blinded out. The players are aware of this wrinkle. The main reason why it's done like that is because of the software. 9 high flopped, nobody with a 9. Bull with a 7. Wonder if his favorite basketball team is the Chicago Bulls. New York Bob with bottom pair here, making a move. Felt like the $15 bet was a little bit weak. And he is raising here with his bottom pair. Does not want to call here. Sometimes you raise and you want to call, and sometimes you raise and you want to fold. New York Bob wants his opponent to fold right now. And he will get his wish. You can see the real Levi's still up over 2,000 for the stream. This is a 1-3 game, folks. $1, $3 game. $1, $3 blinds. We did not stream last Wednesday night, and part of that is on me, as I was in Vegas for the World Series of Poker. I actually got to check out the new Venetian Poker Room. I like it, but don't like it. I think the tables are a little too close to it, being a brand new poker room. Maybe they have more tables in for the World Series. I mean, they're not like super tight, but I would just like a little more room between it. They got a lot of different variety of games. As a matter of fact, I think their variety is too much. They got 1-3, they got 2-3, they got 3-5, they got 5-10. They have too many different varieties. Oh, another new player sitting down. Once again, in my opinion, it's kind of funny why they have 2-3 when they already have a 1-3 game and a 3-5 game. I know why they have the 2-3. CC Drew with the best hand here. And CC Drew going to wind up with the best hand. There's not $300 in this pot. Something got punched in wrong. He's betting 125 here on the river. Bull with the sevens, thinking about making a hero call, but he will let it go. New York Bob with just ace high, gonna have to let it go. What? All right, I did not see what the action was pre-flop. There was not $378 in the middle. That looks like maybe there's some greens in there. I mean, there was maybe 200 in the middle. Started talking about the Venetian, I lost track of the pot. They do have a very, very nice live stream area there, does the Venetian. And we do have a new player, but he's going to have to sit out a hand as you're not able to buy the button on the straddle. But the answer to why they have the 2-3 game is because of California. That's why.
Even yet, Andy?
No, I'm in 3,000.
So CC Drew in for 3,000, has $2,700 in front of him. Tres Mentiras with the $30 raise. New York Bob just made a call with ace high on the river, and he's going to be calling here with ace high pre-flop. It is suited, it is connected, and we are going 3 ways to a flop. One overcard to the nines. I think Tres Mentiras is going to put on a continuation bet to maybe 40 or 50. No, he does check. And New York Bob had ace queen the previous hand, but he's going to represent the queen on this hand, putting out a $35 bet. Just one overcard for his nines. Quick call from Tres Mentiras. As we go heads up to a turn, New York Bob looking for an ace, looking for a club, and instead the board will pair with a 7. Tres Mentiras with a quick bet and a quicker fold from New York Bob. So most of the card rooms in California now, the smallest game they offer is a 2-3 game. $2 for the small blind, $3 for the big blind. So you see some casinos in Vegas that kind of cater towards that crowd, even though the 1-3 game is essentially the same game. They really cater towards those California players. But the reason why a lot of the smallest games now in California is $2, $3 is because of the drop. So they do not rake from the pot, they drop from the pot. If you see a flop, they are dropping $5. So that's why they have the blind set up at $2, $3 to ensure that they have at least $5 if two players choose to see the flop. Uh-oh, big hand alert here. First hand for Rocky, and he has kings. Tres Mentiras has queens, and Bull has ace-queen suited. What is happening here? Big raise from Tres Mentiras. A $30 raise is met with a $160 3-bet. And Rocky cannot believe it as he comes in and he is all in on the first hand with kings. A little surprised Bull just flat called with the ace-queen here, but that might save him money. No, it is not. The ace-queen is too pretty not to call. And I believe the action is reopened here. Does Tres Mentiras go all in? I believe the action's reopened. There was a $30 raise. He made it $160, so he raised the $130. So you add the $130 to the $160. Oh, okay, yeah. So $300 in the middle, $310. There was a straddle. So Bull and Tres Mentiras, a side pot is available, but I think they're going to check it down, or they're asking if they want to check it down. You really shouldn't do that if you have another player in the hand. Does go check, check. There's the diamond for Bull, and it's going to go check, check again. And the kings are going to triple up on the first hand. So Rocky waking up to kings. Tres Mentiras going to lose the pot. So a triple up for Rocky on his first hand. And the profit that Bull made, I think, is gone. We will confirm once this flashes up. Before the hand started, Bull was in the positive by about $300. And now I think he's going to be in the negative. Yeah, negative $94. The Rio Livas still with a $2,000 profit. Bull does put on a $10 button straddle. Tres Mentiras going to make it a small raise with the king-queen. Takes it up to tray 5, KD. New York Bob with the 4s will be coming along as well. Regular Bob does the same. Same hand as Tres Mentiras, but he's suited. Rocky, you just tripled up, will get out of the way. El Jefe does the same. And Bull, who straddles, is going to be going all in with the jacks. This actually looks like a squeeze play. This looks like he's trying to buy the pot here. I think somebody's going to call it. Oh, Tres Mentiras does fold. And New York Bob
Big Bull's all in.
thinks that Bull is making a move here. And New York Bob really hasn't recovered since he got his kings cracked. Regular Bob, I think, was going to call, but now that New York Bob is called, I don't think. Oh, regular Bob makes the call. So this pot being brought to you by the letter B. We got Bull, Bob, and another Bob. The two jacks way out in front right now.
233.
New York Bob looking for a 4. And just Bob looking for a king or a queen. We did see Tres Mentiras fold a king or a queen, so he has less outs than he thinks he does. 2 of his opponents have a club as well.
Oh, okay.
So
So Jack's way out in front right now.
it was fine. You didn't have to put the money.
I know. I know.
So there is going to be a side pot, and they are getting the side pot correct. And I'm pretty sure we're just going to run it one time.
9. Yes.
So I don't think the players have discussed once or twice, so I think they're just going to go once.
Hey, go.
Yeah.
I'm doing over the fair.
So you have queens.
I like.
Well, there's three focus in the table.
Alright, no more action.
All right, so pot is right, and here we go. Not a bad flop for the 4s. 4s are still behind, 4 or a 3. Instead, the jacks are going to scoop. There will be a small side pot, I believe.
Hold on.
Wait. No, side pot.
Ah, shoot. You know what? Oh,
Yeah, there is a small side pot, so New York Bob going to be getting a tiny rebate.
Maria.
And I believe that at least one of the Bobs is going to be rebuying. What about Bob?
Rush, table 9.
Yeah, he's going to get 3 more.
Somebody told me to bet this game too, man. I forgot.
So you can see the 2 Bobs, both down over $300. CC Drew in for $3,000. And the Rio Livas up 2,000, Rocky up 600. And Bull, who was losing $94 before that hand, is now up $300. And New York Bob's all in, saw a king, went all in. Tres Mentiras calling with the best hand, the suited ace. Everybody with live cards. Tres Mentiras with the best equity right now in at 43%. New York Bob with the worst equity at 27%. And New York Bob hitting his 8, but Bull hits his 9. And Bull betting $3. That'll be a side pot. New York Bob gonna need a king or an 8. Bull betting $15, giving Tres Mentiras a very good price to draw for the ace. But Tres Mentiras is gonna fold. Here comes the ace.
Alright, no more action.
Oh, New York Bob making 2 pair.
2 pair, king eight.
And New York Bob will win the $369 pot.
He's alive.
So New York Bob winning the pot, still down over $500. But he does have chips in front of him. And there is a straddle.
I woke up with diarrhea. Fucking.
All right, Bob, all
No,
right.
no, it wasn't not you, Bob. Bob.
Yes. No, I was just kidding.
So under the gun straddle from CC Drew for $10. El Jefe making the $10 call here. Tres Mentiras just calling with the ace king in the cutoff. And we are going 5 ways to a $53 pot.
5 players.
10 high flop, New York Bob with the best of it. El Jefe also flopping a 10 but has kicker problems.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
New York Bob checking his top pair. And now,
9 bets, 20.
oh, I'm sorry, it was regular Bob. Got the 2 Bobs here, got confused. Regular Bob checked this top pair, and now New York Bob picks up a flush draw.
8 calls.
And everybody makes the call.
Put a club out. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
New York Bob asking for a club. And he does not get there. Jack coming on the river as
9 bets, 20.
regular Bob going to wind up with the best hand here. The queen kicker will play. El Jefe did make the call on the river. I believe it was a $40 bet on the river, and El Jefe made the call. No, it was a $20 bet on the river.
Seems like 3 hours.
Oh, Tres Mentiras making a move here.
1, 25.
And Bob makes the quick fold.
94.
This, oh, representing the 9. Tres Mentiras representing the 9. He's going to get the bluff through. 89 makes it straight. He did not have a 9, but he represented the 9 and was able to get 2 opponents to fold the better hand.
That was bad.
He hit it with his head.
No,
comes
no,
back.
no.
No, he hit it with his head. He came back and hit it with his leg.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's bad. That's a black guy who kicked it in.
So I believe the players are watching the College World Series. And I believe LSU beat Arkansas or Arkansas to advance on to the finals.
Bob straddling. Yo. Something. Yo.
Of course, Baton Rouge is French. Essentially translates to red stick. Ace King making a return. There's a red stick in the middle of the river, and that's where they built the city. CC Drew raising with the ace queen. The real Livas just calling. Seems like he's trying to protect his profit. As we have an interesting flop here. We have top pair versus bottom 2 versus a gut shot. CC Drew, who was your initial raiser, puts out the continuation bet. And is New York Bob going to go all in? He is. Pretty sure CC Drew's going to call him here. Yeah, it's 303, another $200 for Drew to call, and he does make the call. Looking for an ace or a queen for an immediate out. Can also go runner, runner, pair, pair. can hit a 6 now. But instead, New York Bob gonna double up once again. Well, he tripled up. He tripled up a couple of hands ago, and now he doubled up. I think he's still gonna be in the red, but not by much. So let's see if he's still in the red.
Maria. Mariana.
Yeah, New York Bob's still in the red, but only 153 now. And CC Drew, who's in for this game for $3,000, is down $580.
Ursula, my dad's nurse. Her name was Ursula, like evil name.
You ever see that scene, Alexa scene? It lands her the whole name.
No.
It was a goof thing on Saturday Night Live because old people can't remember.
Right.
Alexa, Ursula, Anita, Amanda, and it answers to all.
El Jefe just calling the $3 with the King 7 off. El Jefe, a real big fan of the Green Bay Packers. He actually told me before the stream he is one of the owners of the Green Bay Packers. It's a true story. He's one of thousands of owners, as the team does release a certain amount of shares that are open to the public. So he did buy a share. Excuse me, I can't even talk. He did buy a share of the Green Bay Packers. I mean, granted, from what I understand, it really doesn't amount to any money. But he is a stockholder in the Green Bay Packers, along with thousands of other fans. But it does sound pretty cool. I'm part owner of the Green Bay Packers. So open ender for New York Bob. Ace high for CC Drew. He's going to wind up with the best hand. But it's going to go check on the river. Ace high going to be good. Yeah, so especially nowadays with information so readily available, I do not like to give bad information, but there is 539,000 shareholders who own 5.2 million shares in the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are the only publicly owned NFL team, meaning they are owned by the fans. The team does the stock sales. The last time they offered it was 2020, and you could buy one share for $300. As I said, there is no financial return. But you do essentially get like a certificate, a stock certificate with your name on it. It's kind of a $300 souvenir, but does have a cool little backstory. I've actually been to that stadium before. Lambeau. The 8 on the river is going to make CC Drew the winner. It's kind of funny because if you live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's faster to go to a Bears game than it is a Packers game. Takes about an hour or so from Milwaukee down to Chicago, or you could go north and stay in Wisconsin and drive about 2 hours to get to Green Bay. So kind of a funny dynamic there. Or if you live in the biggest city in Wisconsin, the Bears are closer than the home team. And so about an hour and a half drive between Milwaukee and Chicago, 92 miles.
Four players. Four checks.
And then Milwaukee to Green Bay is 118 miles. King of Hearts on the turn. It's going to give Tres Mentiras a straight. El Jefe does have an ace. Puts out a small $10 bet. Tres Mentiras casually throwing out the $10 call, hoping his opponent makes a better hand on the river. Scary river as the flush now has arrived. And any king makes trips. So El Jefe might be done with this hand. Tres Mentiras betting $20 on the river. And El Jefe making the call. So now El Jefe is down $148 for the stream. CC Drew down only $300. Keep in mind he's in for $3,000.
Are you gonna go, Bob?
And the two Bobs down over $300. And looks like New York Bob puts on a $10 under the gun straddle. Bob the dealer. El Señor Oso. He does make the fold. El Jefe making the call on the button with the 10-7 offsuit. Tres Mentiras with the 8s. Gonna raise it up. Looks like 40, might be 50.
I don't see the turn for $50.
And he raises it up to 50. So nice raise there from Tres Mentiras. Really don't want to play the 8s out of position. And he raises it up and takes down the $20 profit.
Yesterday too, I was like, I'm not gonna bet shit. If you fucking swept, they're gonna be like 4 games.
Still have about half an hour to go on tonight's stream.
I bet, I lose, I don't bet.
These players started playing just after 7 o'clock. I want to say 7:03. You add the 15 minutes for the delay, and we started streaming at around 7:18. That is Texas time, Central Time. So we should be going to right around 11:15. Should be streaming to right around 11:15 tonight. About half an hour to go.
Sí, ya lo marcaron. No, ya anularon.
So these players do have the option
Y watches it.
to continue to play after the stream, as Tres Mentiras now making a move. had eights the previous hand,
Ah, el otro que tiró el centro.
Sí, el que estaba solo allá arriba.
and now he is making a move with the
Es lo que
5
quería ver,
deuce,
¿dónde vi que pasa?
and he's going to get immediately punished by New York Bob. New York Bob takes it up to 120. And I think we have something being read wrong on the card reader. Because the 5 deuce with the raise seemed a little out of character for Tres Mentiras. And now Colin is really out of character for him. New York Bob flopping 2 overcards and a straight draw. Down in the front, leave us. Down in the front. Thank you.
So where'd you eat that?
Tres Mentiras thinking about putting out a bet here. Doesn't look to be a big bet. Yeah, he's betting 50 into 250. 60 quick call from New York Bob with the 2 overcards and the gut shot. Board pairing. I don't think Tres Mentiras has 5 deuce. Yeah, he moves all in. Yeah, I think this was something being read wrong. We've seen it happen a couple of times on the board, and when it happens on the board, we know that it's wrong, so the production crew is able to correct it. And New York Bob might not be in the mood of folding here. I'm kind of hoping he calls so we get to see Tres Mentiras cards. I do not think he has 5 deuce off suit. I think something read wrong. So the circles in front of the players kind of look like a bullseye. A circle within a circle within a circle. That's the RFID readers. And these are special cards. They have little chips in them. And they do get scanned. And sometimes something scans wrong, and I think that's the case here. Because this is a very, very strange play with just 5 deuce off suit. New York Bob's a bit frustrated. Might make the frustrated call here. I'm thinking Tres Mentiras has at least a pair. Just for the line to make sense. New York Bob's gonna let it go. Does Tres Mentiras show? Show it. Show it for the stream. He does not. Although the last time I thought it was a misread. I asked the player after the stream on what they had, and they're like, no, that's what I had. I just made a play. I thought New York Bob just might go with his hand because we have about 20 minutes to go on the stream. I do not know if the players are going to continue to play after the stream. Usually on Wednesday nights, they don't. And usually on Friday nights, they do. But it is lineup dependent. El Jefe with the 10s just raising it to 15. I think based upon the lineup, I think these players are actually going to continue to play after the stream. 10's way out in front right now. Only 1 overcard to the 10s as Tres Mentiras does hit a 4. El Jefe reaching for a continuation bet. Looks like 30. But it is 40. Tres Mentiras hitting a pair. Going to see one more card. Makes the call. And everybody else will get out of the way. To the turn we go. This pot's already $143. Tres Mentiras going to need a 7 or a 4. A king arriving. And that's going to slow down El Jefe. 2 overcards to his pocket pair. El Jefe going to wind up with the best hand. What does he do on the river? He's going to check. Tres Mentiras thinking about putting out a bluff. I think it would have to be a big bluff, but he checks. So 10s are going to be good for El Jefe. And I still think he's in the red, but he's going to be down less than $100 after this hand, I believe. But we will find out right now. There it is. Down $73. New York Bob putting on the straddle. Looks like $10. Action's going to be on seat 9. El Señor Oso. It is not a Hard Rock straddle, not a Mississippi straddle. It's just a normal straddle. Action does start to the left of the straddle, so action does start on the small blind. Queen high flop, bull hitting the queen. And bull's gonna bet his queen. CC Drew calling with the gut shot. New York Bob calling with second pair. Spade arrives, might slow down the action now. Looks like bull's gonna continue to fire with the 9 of spades in his hand. Takes it up to 50 now. New York Bob knows that his jack is not good. He will let it go. But CC Drew does not. Ace on the river. Check, check, it goes. And bull will win the pot. All right, so we do have some new graphics here. Breaking news. They just let me know what the last hand is going to be, and surprisingly, we're not going to make it to hand number 80. We're not going to make it to hand number 80. The last hand is going to be hand 78. So got the breaking news there. Got the sunglasses. $6 putt and straddle from Bob on the button. I believe it's 3 more hands to go. No, 4 more hands to go. So 4 hands away. Last 15 minutes of the stream. Will we see 15 minutes of pain? Doesn't always happen, but there's a good chance we're going to see some sort of craziness happen. I think part of the reason is these players know the stream's getting ready to end, so they do take some unconventional lines, trying to get back to even or trying to book a small profit. I think that's one of the reasons why we see some crazy stuff happen a lot of times towards the end of the stream. Something for everybody. Straight draw for CC Drew, pair and a straight draw for New York Bob, and a pair for Bull, who does lead out for 35, gets a quick call from New York Bob, and CC Drew's going to come along as well. We We might have one of those crazy hands I was just talking about. Club on the turn. That's going to give a straight to both New York Bob and CC Drew, but it's also going to give Bull a flush draw. Ask and thou shalt receive. You want some craziness? We got craziness. $100 bet. Bull thought it was 75. I think New York Bob's just going to go all in based upon his stack sizing. Yeah, he's going to go all in. 218, so it does reopen the action if CC Drew chooses to re-raise here. He does not. He just makes the call. And I think we're going to see a club because it's the last 15 minutes of the stream. I think we're going to see a club, folks. So here comes the river. Will it be a club? It is not a club. So it's going to be a chop pot between CC Drew and New York Bob. So they will chop it up, and as the dealer takes care of that, don't forget about the return of the Trailblazer Series. So one of the reasons why it was named a Trailblazer Series is because the winner of the series won a Chevrolet Trailblazer. So I would imagine it's going to be the same or similar setup where the overall points winner wins a new car. There was also a 50K free roll available to the top 50 in points. So pretty cool little series here across the state of Texas. And it's going to be returning in September. Did the game continue or no? The game broke when the stream ended? Oh, wow. Okay. So did you win, El Jefe? No. Hey, what's up, baby girl? This is on a 15-minute delay. Probably gonna have to put a sign on that door. People keep coming into my booth. Yeah, 3 more hands to go. I thought this game would continue, but apparently in another 3 hands it is gonna cease. But we still have 3 hands to go. El Jefe, who just jumped into my booth, saying he did not win on the stream, so he's not gonna win a big pot. Might lose a big pot before the end of the stream. $23 raise coming from CC Drew. And he has really been forcing the action tonight. He's out of the small blind here too, so he's going to be out of position as we are going 5 ways to the flop, 6 ways to the flop. And there's a 10 for CC Drew. He does make the best hand, and he's going to lead out. It's going to be 40. Nobody with an ace, surprisingly. 5 ways to the flop, and nobody has an ace. He does pick up a call from New York Bob. New York Bob with the 4-3 of diamonds hits bottom pair. So bottom pair versus middle pair. Both these players trying to get unstuck before the stream ends. New York Bob with 2 outs. And that's not one of them. CC Drew, betting 85 now. And New York Bob, as I said, he's trying to get unstuck, is down to 1 out. Needs a 4, and that is not it. $245 in the pot. CC Drew's going to slow down, and New York Bob does as well. So we have 2 hands to go after this. Hand 77, hand 78. I'm really surprised this game did not continue after the stream ended, but it is really up to the players. But as I said, in general, it is Wednesday nights. It does not continue, and on Friday nights it does continue. So 2 more hands. I think we're going to see an all-in within this next 2 hands. These players know the game is getting ready to break. CC Drew putting on a $10 button straddle as action's going to be on Rocky. Picked up kings the first hand, tripled up, and really haven't heard from him. Did you win? Okay.
It's supposed to be 90 minutes, but that's why.
So Bull booking a win on the stream. I don't know how much. I'm gonna have to looking for a lock on the door for the booth. Normally I have nobody coming to my booth. Tonight I've had like 10 people come into my booth. So Bull with the 6s raising it up to 55. And New York Bob going to be making the call with the 8-6 of clubs. Pretty good flop for Bull to continue here. He's going to see how much New York Bob has in his stack, and he's just going to go all in. Put in max pressure. Not even 1 club for New York Bob to make a call, so he's going to have to let it go. New York Bob trying to talk to Bull. Bull giving him the cold shoulder. That happens to me a lot at bars. Yes, so New York Bob will let it go, and we are down to our final hand of the night. As I mentioned earlier, this is the secondary channel for all Texas Card House locations. We stream on this channel every Wednesday night. We stream on the main channel, TCH Live Poker, every Friday night. I do know the Houston location also streams on this location, I believe on Sundays. And both Dallas and Austin will periodically stream on this channel as well. So last hand of the night. Tres Mentiras with the suited 1-gapper. He's going to raise it up. Looks like 25. And it is 20. New York Bob calling with the suited queen, trying to win the last hand to get unstuck. And everybody else making the call. And just like that, we have a $100 pot. So I'm thinking that seat number 1, the real Livas cashes out, and he had over 2,000 in his stack. So I'm thinking that's why the game broke. Bob flopping top pair here. That's regular Bob, not New York Bob. Tres Mentiras betting here, his 4 high. And New York Bob going all in. That's not New York Bob. That's regular Bob. Dealer Bob. El Señor Oso. And Tres Mentiras getting caught his last hand. So he got caught. All right, let's see the final tallies for the night. Let's see the final tallies for the night. I want to say the Rio Livas was the big winner, won about 2,000. Rocky tripled up his first hand, pretty much maintained that. Tres Mentiras in the green and Bull in the green. Everybody else in the red, CC Drew losing about $100, in for 3,000. So that'll wrap things up on this Wednesday night.